Hi students, my name is Satyam, lecturer in Computer Science and Applications, Government Degree College for Women's, Jagityal. In e-commerce subject, Unit 4, the next topic is EDI layered architecture. So, we have discussed thoroughly about the EDI applications. So, internally, how many layers are available to do the EDI application performance in the e-commerce business, or the EDI software contain how many types of internal sub layers? Okay, so that is we will discuss today. So the topic name is called as EDI layered architecture. So generally this is asked in the examination. Explain EDI layered architecture. So the EDI includes the following 4 layers. Okay, number 1, semantic layer. Number 2, standards translation layer. Number 3, packing or transport layer. Number 4, physical network infrastructure layer. So like that there are 4 types of layers are available. Okay, first one is semantic. The semantic is also called as application layer. Semantic layer, or this is also called as application layer. Then second one is standards translation layer. Standards translation layer. Third one is packing. Packing means transport layer. Okay. Fourth one is physical network infrastructure layer. So like that 4 layers are available internally in the EDI application. So layered architecture of EDI. So observe the picture carefully. First one is EDI semantic layer. Okay. So second one is EDI standard layer. Then third one is EDI transportation layer, transport layer. Fourth one is physical layer. In the EDI semantic layer, the application level services, this layer will do the functions. Each layer is meant for a specific functions in the EDI application. So the EDI application have these 4 types of layers. Each layer contain its specific functions, okay, in the EDI software. So for example, the EDI application contain this 4 sub layers, that means 4 sub applications. These 4 sub applications, each sub function, that means sub software is called as layered. So the software is definition is like this. Software is a collection of so many applications which are interrelated with each other and do a particular task is called as a software. So like that each software contain internally so many types of sub softwares. So that softwares are simply is called as layers. Okay. So the EDI each layer of a particular software, that means in this example, so each EDI layer have its own responsibilities, its own working, so tasks in the particular scenario. So the EDI semantic layer have the works like application level services. It worked on the application level services. So then second one is EDI standard layer. So the EDI standard layer, okay, it is EDIFACT business form standards or ANSI X12 business form standards. Okay, so it maintain that standards. With the help of that standards, so that layer will follow convert the information or convert the transactions into these standards. So either it may be EDI fact standards or it may be ANSI X12 business standards. That information or the business transactions or the financial transactions. So all these transactions are converted into this standardized manner, so with the help of this EDA standard layer. So then EDA transport layer, so this transport layer will transport the documents, business documents or business information or financial information, okay, so or financial transactions in the online business, okay. This EDA transportation layer will do the different types of transportation methods, that is electronic mail. So with the help of email system, so it will transfer the information from one place to the another place, so that is source to the destination, or some buyer to the company, or company to the buyer, okay. So and next X435 MIME and point to point data exchange with the help of FTP, so file transfer protocol or telnet mechanisms also, so the data is transferred, and World Wide Web also used for data transfer. So HTTP stands for hypertext transfer protocol. So with the help of HTTP and World Wide Web and FTP, telnet, point to point cell, X435 MIME and electronic mail, all with the help of all these concepts, okay. So the EDA transportation layer will transform the information from source to the destination, that means from one end to the another end, so buyer to the seller or seller to the buyer, okay. So in the business scenario, total the EDA transportation layer will do the work about the transformation of the documents or transformation of the business information from one end to the another end, and it will do the work like financial transactions also. So that means with the help of e-payment mechanisms, so the data, the money is transferred in the electronic format from so seller to the buyer, and maybe it will be buyer to the seller also in sometimes, so okay. So like that, total transportation responsibilities is taken by this EDA transportation layer with the help of all these sub mechanisms, that is electronic mailing mechanism, X435 MIME mechanisms, okay, techniques, or point to point technique, or FTP, that means file transfer protocol, or telnet, so World Wide Web, that means www, HTTP, okay. With the help of all these techniques, the information is transferred with the from source to the destination, and the destination to the again source if necessity. So this is happened with the help of EDA transportation layer in the EDA application. So then fourth one is physical layer. So with the help of physical layer only, the connection is established between the source to the destination and a destination to the source, okay. So that's why the physical layer is the bottom layer, so which will do the physical connectivity between the one end to the another end, and this layer is used to transfer the information from one end to the another end. So in this transportation, so they are using dial-up lines, okay, or internet or highway, okay. All these type of technologies are used in the physical layer with the help of physical layer only. So the different different application softwares are connected, or different systems are connected with the help of this physical layer only, okay. So like that, the EDA application contain mainly EDA semantic layer, EDA standard layer, EDA transportation layer, and EDA physical layer, okay. Now we will discuss about the these layers, okay. So technologies and responsibilities thoroughly. So first one is EDA semantic layer. So it describes the business applications, okay. So the EDA semantic layer explain about the business applications, okay. So in the front end, the customer will see so total information about that particular e-commerce business, and what type of items are they are purchasing, and all these basic information, business information, will be displayed on the screen or at the home page. So this total information is displayed with the help of EDA semantic layer. That's why it describes the business applications okay, business applications. And procurement example, and that means request for the quotes, and this layer will take the quotations from the customers, okay, and price quote after receiving the quotations, so it will give the price list to the customer, and purchase orders after purchasing the product by the customer, so it will generate the purchase order. So after delivering the product to the customer, and it will the customer will give the acknowledgement to the company, so this acknowledgement applications and invoices applications, okay, so all these type of request for quotes, price quotations, purchase orders, acknowledgement, invoices, all these type of applications, all these type of works is done with the help of EDA semantic layer. So specific to company software used, okay, so the different companies are used for different softwares, okay, so in this EDA semantic layer. So then second one is EDA standard translation layer. So whatever it may be the high level languages, or whatever it may be the at end applications used by the different users and different companies, but the information is transferred from one place to the another place easily. So internally they should follow the standard data exchange, standard data converters, then only the information is easily shared without any without any duplications, without any errors. The information will be transferred from source to the destination and destination to the source. So already we know that so whatever it may be the high level languages like C or C++ or Java, okay, so whatever it may be the language, the syntaxes may be different, and the language writing of the methods may be different, and the logics may be different, but what will happen if you enter the data, that information will be converted into the high level programming languages into the ASCII code, ASCII ASCII code. So already we know that, already we will discuss about the ASCII code, okay. So ASCII code stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange, okay. With the help of ASCII code only, so total the information is converted into the basic level, low level information converted with the help of compilers and interpreters, okay, whatever it may be used in the particular languages. So the ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange converter have the convert the information from high level languages to the machine level languages or low level languages internally, okay. So the whatever it may be the languages front end you are used, but at last with the help of the standard ASCII values only in the high level languages, so the data is converted. Same just like that in the EDA application also, okay, same just like that in the EDA application also, what will happen, so the data must be sent from the consumer to the company, and company to the consumer, okay, seller to the buyer or buyer to the sender, okay, whatever it may be the information transferred from source to the destination, okay, that must be internally converted into the standard format, okay. So that conversion of standard format, okay, is very important, that work is taken over by the EDA standard transportation application, okay. So that's why the EDA standards translation mechanism method, okay, will convert the information into the standardized format. So that's why specific business forms, form structures, so that information can be exchanged, okay. That means in so many business organizations which are held in the so many countries also are within the same location, different business organization will interchange the information from one end to the another end. So then what will happen, so that must be converted into the a standardized format internally. So the standardized formats in the EDA applications are two competing standards are there available in the worldwide market present days. So the EDA two competing standards are: number one, American National Standards Institute X12 and CX12, American National Standard Institute, okay, which is delivered the X12 standards. Okay, so the ANSI X12 standard is the one mechanism to convert the information into this format, and that converted information will be sent to the source to the destination, and at the destination place also with the help of ANSI, okay, X12 standards, that will be converted into again original format. Okay, so like that internally the information will be converted from one at source, and that will be again converted into the at destination, so with the help of this standard conversion mechanisms only. So already we discussed the EDI applications have the in the worldwide two standard controls are there, conversions are there. So that standards are one is American National Standards Institution ANSI X12. So second one is EDIFACT. Okay, so this EDIFACT is delivered developed by UNECE. Okay, so working party for the facilitation of international trade procedure. So while the international trade procedures are going on, that the information must be converted into the either ANSI X12 or EDIFACT conversions. So that's why if EDIFACT conversion is happened, so the data is easily interchanged international trade procedures. Okay, in the international void you can change the information from one source to the destination. Okay, so that's why with the help of EDI standard translations, okay, the information will be interchanged from source to the destination and the destination to the source. So like that the second layer is very helpful to convert the information into the standardized format, so that format may be either ANSI X12 or EDIFACT. Okay, like that the second layer will be worked out, and then third layer is EDI transport layer. Okay, so the EDI transport layer will mainly use the transfer the information from one end to the another end, okay, with the help of so many mechanisms. So how the business form is sent, that is post or UPS or fax. Okay, what is the what are the whatever it may be the techniques. So the transport layer work is to transport the information from source to the destination or destination to the source. Okay, so then increasingly email is the carrier. Generally this transport layer will concentrate on the information through the emails, so it is a very high secured and easy mechanism. So the email is generally used for data transfer from one end to the another end. So one more is there differentiating EDI from email. So that is emphasis on automation, and EDI has creating legal status. So we like that with the help of EDI applications. So EDI transportation layer, the information will be sent from source to the destination and destination to the source. So then fourth one is after third layer. So then fourth layer, physical network infrastructure. So layer, so the physical network infrastructure layer will connect the different business organization. It connect different companies which are available in the worldwide or international wide. So with the help of a network mechanisms, okay, that network may be dial-up lines, okay, or internet or value added network or other networks also. Okay, so EDI in action in this physical layer is the information flows when a paper documents are shuffled between organizations via the mail room. Okay, so with the help of all these layers, the EDI is successfully worked in the business organization. So the main actions of EDI application is the information flows when a paper documents are shuffled between organization via the mail room. with the help of email concept. Okay, so the paper documents are transferred in the form of electronic format, converted into the electronic format. That electronic information is transferred from one source to the destination. So when the buyer sends a purchase order, okay, then relevant data extracted, recorded on a hard copy. So when the buyer sends the purchase order, okay, so from that purchase order, okay, the relevant information, okay, is copied, and that will be stored in the physical manner also, the main EDA action. So the hard copy is forwarded to several steps, at last manually entered into the system by the data entry operators. So if it needs the information is entered by the data entry operators, the data entry operator will get the information from the, okay, EDA application. So this process is somewhere overhead in the labor cost and time delays also. Okay, it will give us some problems, so that is in the form of cost and time delays also. Okay, so like that the EDA applications are helpful in this some manual mechanisms also. Okay, the EDAs will do the some actions. Okay, so like that the EDA have the mainly the 4 applications. Okay, so that is number 1, that is EDA semantic applications, then EDA standard translations, and EDA transport layer, and physical network infrastructures layer. Okay, these are the 4 layers which are used in the EDA application. Okay, so the next topic, okay, so the next topic in the e-commerce, okay, unit 4 is, okay, so what are the different EDA versions. Versions means always the software is changing according to the requirement of the users, or the software companies are delivering different versions of same softwares. Okay, that's why, okay, what are the different versions available of EDA in the market? Okay, that is also called as types of EDAs are. So explain the traditional EDA, old EDA, and new EDA. Okay, so we will discuss all these 3, that is traditional EDA, old EDA, and new EDA. Okay, we will discuss all these 3. So in the traditional EDA, this is it replaces the paper forms with almost strict one-to-one mapping between parties, a paper form to fields of electronic forms called transaction sets. With the help of transaction sets, so the paper information is stored, received in the matter in the form of one-to-one mapping. That means with the help of one-to-one mechanism, so the information will be gathered. So it covers 2 basic business areas, that is trade data interchange, TDI, in components transactions such as purchase orders, then is invoices and acknowledgements in this sector, so it is used. And then electronic fund transfer, EFT, so is the automatic transfer of funds among the banks and other organizations also. This old traditional EDA is used. So the traditional EDA is again divided into 2 camps, that is old EDA and new EDA. So the traditional EDA is converted into the 2 types. Okay, so that is old EDA and new EDA. So that means the old EDA and the new EDA are the 2 concepts, 2 classifications of the traditional EDA. Okay, the traditional EDA have 2 more classifications, old EDA and new EDA. So old EDA automating the exchange of information pertaining to the business activities. Okay, so then it is referred as the current EDA standardization process, where it allows every company, okay, choose its own unique and proprietary versions. Okay. In the old EDI, the information is chosen. Okay, so in own and unique manner. Okay, so that information will be transferred from one department to the another department in the business organization. So in the new EDI, it is refocusing of the standardization process. Okay. In this, the structure of the interchanges is determined by the programmer. So who writes a program? It removes a long standardization process. So in the new EDI, the information is converted with the help of new standardization concept. Already we discussed with ANSI, X12 or epidemic. One more thing already just now we discussed. So what are that? ANSI, X12 standardization, or that is with the help of American National Standard Institute's X12 standardization. Okay, so one more standardization is EDIFACT. Okay, so while we are in this situation, so the word is coming, EDI fact. Okay, EDIFACT. Okay, so the EDIFACT is the one of the standard translation information from one converted internally. Okay, with the help of these two. Okay, so the new EDI follows these two standardizations. Okay, so with the follows these two standardization, so the long standardization process will be reduced in the new EDI. Okay, so then one more type of EDI is, one is traditional EDI and one more is open EDI. In the traditional EDI, old EDI and new EDIs are the sub classifications. So then open EDI, so it is a business procedure that enables e-commerce to occur between organizations, okay, where the interaction is short duration. Okay, so with the help of open EDI, the interaction of short duration, in the short duration only the interaction is established between the one end to the another end in the business procedure. Okay, that enables e-commerce. Okay, in e-commerce environment, okay, it is very helpful to establish a interaction between two ends with a short duration. Okay, within the short duration in the only. So it is a process of doing EDI without the upfront trading partner agreement that is currently signed by the trading partners. Okay, so it is a process of doing EDI without upfront trading partner agreement that is currently signed by the trading partners. Okay, that means already a agreement is made between the two business organizations. Okay, so the open EDI, okay, allows the signing of that agreements at a particular current time only. Okay, the goal is sustain ad hoc business or short-term trading relationships using a simpler legal codes. So generally like share market or like money exchange exchanges, so a short-term businesses are going on. So for example, in the share market, in the same day, intra-trade day, so in the same day they are purchasing the shares and they are buying the shares within the some hours of the time only. Okay, this type of transactions are done with the help of this open EDI. So that's why the goal is sustain a ad hoc business, a short term business trading relationships, establish the relationships using similar legal codes also. Okay, so it is a law of contract within the context of e-commerce, where the transactions are not repeated over a long period of a time. So with the help of open EDI only, it allows the short trading agreements only. So it will not support the long period of time agreements. So that's why if a intra trade mechanisms, so with the help of intra trading mechanisms, so with the same day and the same session, the customer can buy and sell his shares, or the money is converted into the dollars and the dollars to the rupees, okay, whatever it may be, okay, in the same day or same session. Okay, so with the help of open EDI, okay, so it allows that type of interchange transactions. So but it will not allow the over long period transactions. Okay, so that are the main concept of the this EDI, that is open EDI. So the mainly the EDIs are available in the market are two types, that is number one, traditional EDIs and open EDIs. In the traditional EDI, so one is old EDI again, so it is classified into old EDI and new EDI. So that's why majorly traditional EDI and open EDI so are used to transaction, so between one business organization to the another business organization, or two different persons, or two different business organizations, or consumer to the company and company to the consumer, or in the short term business, or helpful in the short term business, or in the long term businesses also. Okay, so then after completion of this topic, okay, so one more topic is there today's class, that is VAN. The abbreviation of VAN is value added network. VAN stands for value added network. So the next topic now we will discuss today's class is the last topic of this class is okay, value added network, VAN. Okay, so the VAN concept, in the VAN concept, generally this is asked in the examination as a short question. So what is value added network, VAN? So it is a service, that means VAN is a service which provides data translation, comma EDI translation, storing and forwarding messages of data transactions to the organization. Okay, so the value added network is mainly used to data translation, number one. So the VAN is used, okay, the VAN application, that means value added network application is used in the e-commerce business, in the online business scenario, that is data transfer, the data translation and EDI translation and storing and forwarding messages, okay, of data translations, okay, within the organizations. So it is very expensive, the VAN mechanism or technology is very expensive for EDI organization. Generally it exchange EDI messages among the trading partners along with messages mailbox services. Okay, it provides communication with other VANs and supports the telecommunications and transfer protocols. Okay, with the help of VAN, the EDI messages, okay, and the other emailing mailing mailbox informations and messages and mailbox services, okay. So these are all delivered with the help of WAN provided communication only, okay. So it supports the telecommunications and transfer protocols also, okay. So the data is transferred among the businesses directly by connecting to a WAN. So many business organizations, or so many customers, or so many sellers and so many buyers, they are connected with the WAN. So with the help of WAN, who are connected through the WAN, okay. So value added service, so the data is easily transferred, okay, among the connected peoples, okay, directly, okay, without any delay. So it is an interface between companies or exchanges, purchase orders, invoices and payments, okay, all these, okay. So in the company, okay, so many departments are there, so many activities are there. So all that activities total in the online business scenario, so it act like a mediator, WAN is act like a mediator, okay. So then when a company sends an EDI transaction, it reaches message storehouse on the WAN, so which is received by a destination company. The following diagram explains the activities of the WAN. So like that, a company is send the information to the another business organization in the online business. So simply the information is sent to the WAN, and through the WAN the information is received at a destination company. So observe a picture of the WAN. So functions of a third party WAN, okay. So for example, is a in the top level it is a company is there. So at bottom level it is a traditional communication mechanism is there. So it is a third place transport company is there, and at fourth place manufacturing company is there. So with the transportation company, manufacturing company, okay, and the particular customers and financial transactions, okay. So all these persons, okay, all these different persons, so the WAN act like a mediator, okay, between all these fours, okay. So with the help of the WAN, okay, the consumers and the company and transport company and manufacturing company. So while the online business is going on, in that online business scenario, so many companies are involved: transportation company and manufacturing company and service company, okay. So a single company may not take all these activities. So these activities can be done with the tie-up, with the agreement of other companies also in the online business transactions, okay. All these companies are connected through the third party, so that is WAN, okay. So with the help of WAN, the information are interchanged, okay. It provides the main data transactions, translations between the different companies through the WAN, okay. That's why the value added network WAN is very helpful in the big organizations as well as a small business organizations which will do the online businesses in the market, okay. For example, if you take an Amazon company, okay. Amazon online business, e-commerce business, a particular Amazon company cannot have the transportation company. So it is tie up with one transportation company, that may be it is maybe some courier service, okay. So and it sells the phones, okay, cell phones. For example, the cell phones manufacturing is not there at the Amazon company, so it is tie up with MI phones and Samsung phones or whatever it may be, okay. Again the customers, are connected with that purchased through the Amazon company. Okay, so after purchasing the products, if installation is not done by the Amazon company, again the installation process and different services provided to the customer, that is done with another company. So the Amazon company have service to the customer and purchase the products, but so they the Amazon company is tie up with the different types of business organizations, okay, and different types of customers also. Okay, so like that, with the help of the WAN, so the value added network WAN, so the transportation companies and manufacturing companies, okay, and that customers, okay, and sellers and buyers, all these persons are connected through the WAN, and they are exchange the business information from one source to the another source, from one end to the another end, with the help of the third party. Okay, so the third party is generally is called as the WAN. Okay, so with the help of value added network WAN only, so the information and the data, the business data is transferred from one end to the another end through the WAN. Okay.